Hi everybody, this is Danny Class. Today we are going to take a look at how to use two fingers on, in this case, a C chord, but it really can be anything. Two fingers when it comes to fingerstyle guitar. And so let's go ahead and jump right in with this tight camera angle here on my right hand. That is the focus today. And the left hand will just be on a C chord, but if you don't like that, you can use really any chord for the first part of this lesson. Okay, so the basic idea here first is to let's look at our right hand and make sure that the fingers are pretty much at a 45-degree angle, where the thumb is closer to the fretboard and the third finger and the pinky are closer to the bridge. Now, of course, you can move your hand up and down, which is, or backwards and forwards across the sound hole, which is one of the great things, of course, about this instrument, that you can get, different kind of color and different timbre to your sound. But we'll just kind of keep it here for now. Okay, so for two fingers, what I basically mean is that when you are playing, in this case, a chord, instead of playing, one at a time or playing all, what if we just did two? And so, but which two? Well, let's just start with our thumb and our second finger, just to kind of keep things simple in the beginning. And then the next two fingers in the neighborhood would be the first and second fingers here, and then the next two fingers in the neighborhood are the second and third fingers here, etc. Okay, in an earlier lesson, in an earlier fingerstyle lesson, I talked about, well, when it comes to, which fingers get which strings, the general rule is that the thumb will get the bass strings and the first finger will get the third string, the second finger will get the second string, and the third finger will get the first string. But that is a general rule because that doesn't really work here. In fact, I just broke it, didn't I, with this first two strings that I'm plucking with my thumb here on the fifth string and my first finger here on the fourth string. It's a bass string. So if you're going to embark on this sort of second two-finger thing here, which I do think is a good idea, just know that when it comes to kind of the rules of where your fingers are supposed to land, it kind of goes out the window. And that's okay. I mean, we can really make it go out the window here by putting our second finger here on our third finger here on the first string, which maybe should be our pinky, right? Okay, so don't get too hung up on those rules, although if you do want a rule, I would say that generally your thumb, it's a general thing, you can break this, but if you want a rule, generally your thumb should not go past this fourth string, the bass string, because you still have fingers here. Okay. Then once you're comfortable with that, that is the two fingers that are close to each other on your hand, thumb and first and second, first and second and third, etc. Once you're comfortable with that, then start breaking the rules and just start using really any combinations. Chord's getting boring, isn't it? I'm going to switch to an A minor chord. Back to those sort of two fingers close to each other, etc. And if you're really getting bored, then you can, throw in, just forget the two fingers altogether and do plucks or individual note runs, kind of an arpeggio, and then back to two fingers. Of course, you can always Okay, so that's the basic idea. Just some things to keep in mind also. You don't want your hand to fly off when it comes to using this technique. You always want your hand to be close. In fact, I kind of keep a finger anchored sometimes on a string when I play, right here, or maybe my pinky. And so that's something to kind of keep in mind. I actually kind of recommend it. I just think it's good. Maybe I'm just generalizing from my own experience, but I do think it's good to always have the guitar close to you. And I need for myself that kind of tactile reminder that, oh, okay, here's the guitar here. And so that can kind of anchor my hand and keep my other fingers from basically knowing where they need to go. The other thing to think about is how strong you want to do this. Well, that's up to you, isn't it? I mean, that's one of the many wonderful things about tone, that you can kind of find your tone that you want when it comes to the sound. Okay, you know, this technique also works for scales. So if I take, I guess I'll just do what, A minor. I'll do a C sharp minor pentatonic scale. Okay, here you have to kind of think, though, a little more ahead, because your fingers on your left hand are moving. So it might be something to, a good idea to think about, well, maybe I'll just do some bars. But this will take a little more practice because you are considering your right hand, which fingers to use. Again, any combinations are fine, but also your left hand on which strings to fret. But it seems, at least with this scale, there'll be some barring involved. Okay, so hopefully you found this lesson useful when it comes to using two fingers to create the fingerstyle guitar you want. Thank you very much for watching. Stay well, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.